What's up, guys? MMAGAME here, bringing you another video. This video is going to be the next episode of the how-to series, and if you guys enjoyed the series and want to see more, make sure to leave a like on the video. So if you guys want anything, any kind of how-to video on how to do anything in EA Sports UFC, make sure to leave that in the comments. Right off the bat, this is about submissions. The thing with submissions that everyone needs to know, there are two fighter abilities that affect submissions, and that is Chessmaster and Sinister Gates. Chessmaster, what it does is the advancement prompts for the submission come up faster. So that will only basically affect your offense of the submission. It's not going to affect you defending or trying to escape submissions. And the other thing is, this ability only affects you. It does not affect the other person in any way. The only effect is your advancement prompts come up faster. So if you're a submission guy and you're actually trying to go for the submission, this is a very, very good ability to have and helps out a lot with submissions. Now, the other one, Sinister Gates, is it actually increases the defensive gate speed for escaping and also decreases the time between the advancement gates. So it actually makes the advancement gates come up faster, just like Chessmaster, but it also increases the defensive speed. So basically, it kind of just speeds the whole thing up of the entire submission. But the biggest difference is that this ability affects both fighters. So it affects you, it makes it easier for you, but it also makes it easier for them. So you sort of have to weigh and really test out each one. My personal preference is Chessmaster. That's it for the abilities. Now getting into the two parts of this video. First off is the defense of the submission. Now the very first line of defense with the submission is to keep your stamina as high as possible, and really keep an eye on that, because most of the time people will only go for a submission if your stamina is a little bit lower. So if you keep your stamina high on the ground, then it's less likely for your opponent to even attempt a submission. But if they do, the first line of defense is to deny the submission, and you do that by holding R2 and up on the right analog stick. But if you do deny the first submission, you have to be careful, because a lot of people, the way the game's set up, is you can keep attempting submission after submission. So what you want to do is remember to not just deny one submission, but also make sure to deny a couple submissions in order to get your stamina back up to the point where your opponent will sort of not attempt anymore. So that is a very good thing to keep in mind, because people do go for multiple submission attempts over and over. And basically, the one and only thing you need to know about getting out of a submission is it's all about, your main goal is to get one of those four gates out, all the way out of the octagon as fast as possible before the advancement gate bumps those all back to the middle. So the main thing you have to do is train yourself to move, never ever get stuck into certain things or a certain pattern, because you don't want that to happen, because that's going to make it really easy for your opponent to keep you in the submission. So what you want to do is get really fast at recognizing as soon as that gate stops moving and really quickly moving to a different gate. So it's all about keeping the movement. I like to just hold my right stick in one direction and get that gate pushed as far as possible, and hopefully they didn't start on that gate, so to deny it. But that's what I do. But the main thing too is just keep your stamina high, because then it's going to be way easier to move those gates. The lower your stamina is, the gates are going to move a lot slower, and it's going to be a lot more difficult to, you know, get out of those submissions. That is the defense. Now on to the offense, where it gets a little bit more in-depth and a little crazy. And at first thing, you know, if you're trying to get better at submissions, you're trying to actually finish some people with submissions and be a threat off your back, what you need to do is you need to attack your opponent when they're weak, when they are hurt, and when their stamina is low. That's when you want to go in for the kill, especially when you're starting off, because that's going to be the easiest way to actually get the submission, is when your stamina is high and their stamina is low. And that's going to make it the easiest possible way. A lot of times I see this happen. You can set up your submissions with your stand-up. So if you're just going to try to be a submission fighter, you're going to have a real difficult time getting submissions. And that's because of how difficult it is to take people down. So you want to set up your submissions with the stand-up, hurt your opponent, try to get them to shoot, get that quick sprawl, and then get the easy submission. And that is, in my opinion, the easiest submission you can get. But if you don't do that, you can work your opponent's body, try to get them to throw some kicks, take them down, work them in the clinch, work the grapple. But you got to be well-rounded if you do want to be successful with submissions. You can't just be, just straight submissions. Even if you do have a guy like Damian Maia, you can even try to bait your opponent to take you down with some leg kicks. There's different sneaky ways and sneaky techniques that you can use to get the fight to the ground. Basically, you don't want to even worry about them taking you down. That's what you want. You want to get the fight to the ground. So if you want to trick them into taking you down, you can do that as well. Maybe you put them in a clinch and just don't defend the throw at all and just let them throw you. There's different ways. That's sort of on the next level of fighting. But that is something, if you want to get good at submissions, you have to think in a weird way, and you have to sort of use some crazy mind tricks, sort of like the Xavier in X-Men. You gotta think ahead. So when you have someone in the submission, okay, you get them down, you get them in a submission, you have to sort of predict where they're gonna go and what gait they're gonna do. If you just look at where they're at and then try to, oh, they're up, so I'm going to move up. Oh, they're to the right, I'm going to move to the right. Well, if you do that, you're not going to submit anyone because you're reacting to what they're doing. But what you want to do is sort of put yourself in their shoes, like they're trying to escape your submission. So it's sort of hard to understand. And obviously, the more you do it, the more practice you get. But you sort of want to predict where they're going to go and where they're going to move. So if they're on the up direction, well, the two directions near it are either left or right. So you sort of have to gamble and figure and think, well, boom, they're going to move there, or are they going to move to the right, and sort of gamble with it. And sometimes you're going to get it and sometimes you're not. But if you do, it's going to be, you get a lot better at this. And you get a lot better at seeing people's patterns and where they're going to go. And that's the other thing you can do is put some people into submissions with full stamina or whatever. Try to get them into submission, as many submissions as you can, to sort of figure out their pattern. And then you can start to see, okay, they're only moving left or right. But the more you do it, obviously, the more times you go for submissions, the better you will be and the more successful you will be. And then you can learn the different submissions, which ones have less gates. It's sort of a mind game. It is a mind game. And when, I've submitted some people with full stamina, and you just have to, first of all, you have to believe. You have to believe that you can get the submission. Don't go for the submission thinking that you can't even get it. You got to believe that you're going to submit this dude. It doesn't matter what the stamina. You're just going to get it. They're not going to escape, and that's going to be fight over. So you have to have that mentality, guys. And that's as much as I can say about submissions. But this is as much as I can say about submissions. I'm sure this video has gone way too long. But if you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. Also follow me on Twitch TV and Twitter. Till next time, this has been MMAGAME. Bye.